Hey everyone, this is KeriTV. If you haven't seen this channel before, this is all the ins, outs, ups, downs, latest trends, hottest deals for buying, selling, and investing in real estate in Los Angeles. Every week we bring new information and the inside track to get you the best deals and the most for your home and the best investments in Los Angeles. So subscribe below and stay tuned. Today's hot topic is the California housing crisis. Now my smile ends, because it is definitely a crisis in California. What exactly is the California housing crisis? Well, for the poorest Americans, finding adequate affordable housing is a challenge. In California, it is now becoming a middle class challenge. Right, not just the lower class, but almost everybody. Since about 1970, California has been increasingly experiencing an extended housing shortage. Through the recessions, there's still an issue with housing. Experts are saying, and I'll quote, California needs to double its current rate of housing production, 85,000 units per year, just to keep up with expected population growth and prevent prices from further increasing, and needs to quadruple, forgive me for reading this quote, needs to quadruple the current rate of housing production over the next 7 years in order for prices and rents to decline. Okay, so we're saying that we need to do 4 times what we're doing just to see a decline. Are you getting that fact? Less than a third of Californians can afford the median priced home, whereas over half of Americans can afford the median priced homes in their areas. There's an exodus of people moving out of California. For the 7th year in a row, more people left than moved in. Yet, the housing crisis is only getting worse. Think about that. The people moving out are being replaced by high earners with graduate degrees who are all for the gentrification and all for improving where they live and living in nice places. In a nutshell, the cause is the imbalance between supply and demand and a result of the strong economic growth creating hundreds and thousands of new jobs, which increases the demand for housing, and then the insufficient construction of new housing units to provide enough supply to meet all of that demand. Pretty intense, right? Are you catching this? Are you keeping up? We're in a crisis. Now, there's been a few things implemented to try to fix this. Prop 13 last year, they tried to get the measure extended, and it didn't pass. What is Prop 13? Prop 13 allows homeowners to keep their tax bracket once they move. Now, they tried to change it so that you could keep your taxes more than once. Say you bought your house for $100,000. You're paying $1,250 in property taxes. If your house is now worth about $3 million, which is common around here, that means your property taxes would be about $37,000 a year. So if you move, even if you pay cash, you now have $37,000 bill every year that you have to pay. If Prop 13 allowed you to take that tax bracket multiple times, you could downsize to a smaller house or maybe a 1-level condo in the area and not be hit with the high taxes. But because you can only do it once and people are living longer, they hold on until they are moving for the last time. So the lack of those people moving out prevents the move-up buyer or the families from going into those larger homes. Technically, we are subsidizing, as their children, we're subsidizing by paying more in pricing. So we would love that to shake up a bit, but it didn't pass last year. I wonder why. Another thought is that Airbnbs or short-term housing has impacted the housing supply. Did you know that only 10% of properties in Los Angeles are even used as Airbnbs? 10%. That means 90% of the properties are available for normal leasing, buying, selling. People think Airbnbs have taken over, but there's such a small percentage of them. And there's only about 1% that would even qualify for affordable housing. Most of the short-term rentals and Airbnbs are by the beach or in nicer areas and are also part of the upper to middle class price range of the cities. So it, in my opinion, is a big myth that this is part of the housing crisis. It is specifically due to other factors such as our increasing demand and the lack of construction and the rules around all this. Broadly speaking, there's really no solution to the California housing crisis without the construction of new homes, and a lot of them. There's been studies at the University of Berkeley that talk about relaxing zoning laws. Now, some of the solutions are just that. People are like, well, build some more houses. But because the area is so highly populated, you need to allow for different zoning rules. So they tried to pass 2 rules for higher density building around metros. Those were both shot down. I'm not going to say my opinion on that, but we're not able to put more square footage and higher elevation height restrictions on buildings because people are not allowing a more lax property zoning. I'm not saying we should be lax on anything, but there are height restrictions which limits what else can be built. Now, another thing too that they tried to do is help with the ADUs, which are like guest homes, they're accessory dwelling units. So they lowered their taxes on that and allowed people to do them because you used to have to be on, I believe it was an acre of land to have a permitted legal guest house. Now, ADUs are all the rage, which is definitely helping because people can rent those. You can have in-laws or older children live there. And other solutions are offering tax incentives or tax breaks for people that are purchasing to help them out. Engage funding via bond elections and big tech. Apple, Google, Facebook, they're putting millions, I've even heard billions, into helping the housing crisis in this area because they're bringing so many jobs in. In closing, the stakes could not be any higher for the California housing market. It's slowly becoming a place where either the rich or the lucky got here before it was too late. My point of this is information, but really, if you're buying or selling in Los Angeles, specifically buying, I would not be holding out because we are in a situation that is only becoming a more unattainable and unaffordable city. Shocking, right? These facts are pretty jarring. I would Google this a little bit more and see what you read because I was really quite astounded when I dug in a bit. But that is my episode today. If you own a home, I hope this makes you thrilled as you're sitting on all your cash. And if you don't, you better call me. Cheers, guys. See you next week.